to discuss with you guys. This is an interactive show, people. So as you see, we are able to see your comments. So as we're talking and discussing these things, feel free to chime in, put your 2 cents, and depending on what you have to say, we'll address what you got to say as we're talking about it. So, like I said, what's going on, cuz?
Do you hear that noise?
What was it?
It sounds like a twerp, twerp every time I don't know. It sounds like it's really. Let me change something over this way, and maybe
Okay.
it's not yours. You wasn't hearing nothing.
No, I'm not. Are you guys hearing these things that we're talking about here? It may be. Keep in mind, I got my computer on, folks. So maybe my computer microphone is causing that disturb.
Okay.
Let's see.
I think you're good now. I think you're good now. It stopped all of a sudden. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have all type of little.
It started again.
I just heard this now.
That's okay. We gonna get it. I don't know what that is. I think it could be your computer. It could be your computer and hearing. Are you hearing yourself talk?
No, like I said, I shut all that down now. So.
Okay, that should be.
That's what. Okay, like I said, this is our show. I already briefed them on the topics on the StreamYard version of the show. Said sorry we couldn't finish that out the way we wanted to. Like I said, we still working out some kinks along the way here, so have patience with us. As we get the show going and whatnot, we'll work out our technical issues and we'll get it from there. What we're trying to do is have it so we can share the show on as many platforms as possible.
Right.
So that's why we're trying to do it in that way.
All right.
But okay, you with me, cuz?
I'm with you.
Okay, so we're gonna get right into our first topic. First topic I set up was leader and his COVID journey, baby. Now, like myself, you all saw the late night tour. What was that late Wednesday night or Thursday, where he announced to the world that he's a leader, and of course I call him the leader, the President of the United States. In case you guys are confused or not familiar with my terminology, but I'm gonna call him by name because that man will not get the respect of me saying his name. I will not put no respect on his name because he don't have no respect for mine or my kinfolks or the people of my ilk or my shade or any of that. So no, he don't get the respect of me saying his name. So he is being known as the leader.
Amen.
When I'm feeling extra, I call him clown, but I will at least expect him enough to not call him clown. So he's done some very clownish things in a way. But
yes.
The leader announced that he has COVID-19 along with his wife. Now, we're going to go through the timeline. As we do that, we're going to discuss all the discrepancies and the inconsistencies. Because I know my cousin feels this way, and I do to a degree too. He's faking somewhere in this. Somewhere there's some fraudulence going on. Now, let's get back to the original announcement. Because what did you think when you first heard he had COVID?
The first thing I thought was, no, it's a lie. It's a hoax. I immediately thought that because of the fact that he was well anybody can get sick overnight. I don't mean it like that, but it was like he just all of a sudden looked like he was fine one day, and then the next day, all of a sudden, we're hearing he's going to the hospital. We really never heard anything except he's being transported to the hospital. And so I'm sitting up there like, okay, automatically.
So you're trying to jump in the gun. That didn't happen to the next day.
Well,
remember, initially they announced he had it, and I know my first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be getting tested every single day in the morning.
You're right.
Sometimes multiple a day. Why do you all of a sudden we figure out that you had COVID? And remember, from what we know of COVID, it basically has an incubation stage, so that when you first get COVID, you probably don't know. But then 2 or 3 days into it, that's when you start to have the symptoms, if you have symptoms. Because remember, half of everybody who contracts COVID-19 is asymptomatic, which basically means they have no symptoms at all. They're just basically carrying it in their system.
Right.
So it was reported that they know he has it because he was feeling kind of iffy the night before at his little rah-rah rally. And so when he tested the next day, it was determined after he had the negative test that yes, he had contracted the virus with his wife. And then, of course, in 24 hours to follow, you figure out that several people in his party of people had contracted it as well.
Right.
Including the people that he worked with, people that he works with in the White House, some of the White House staff. Several people have contracted the virus in that time.
Right.
Now, the next day, Friday, is when they announced that he was being taken to the hospital. So what were you thinking then?
Well, I actually thought it was really still a hoax because of the thing. When I look at the hospital and knowing how Walter Reed is, I'm like, okay, so he's going up there. He's already the commander in chief. So anything that he says goes up in that hospital. He is the commander in chief. Okay.
Not to cut you off, but let me point out that yes, my cousin Marla Facey at one point worked at Walter Reed Hospital. So she actually has some extra.
Yeah. So my thing is, because I know that, I'm like, and because it'd be the same way if it was any military hospital. He is the commander in chief. So whatever hospital room he's in, if he tells them to jump, they're going to say how high. So I thought, okay, automatically I thought, well, he can go to the hospital. It ain't like us regular people can go to the hospital and tell the doctors, oh, I want to come on in. You know what I'm saying? I want to just come on in the hospital. I'm going to come in there and work and deal with this for a couple of days, and we'll see how it goes. I just don't, at first, I'm going to say that was my initial thought. It's fake. It's totally fake. I said anybody can go up in there, tell him what he wants, and then they're going to jump through hoops and do it. And then I thought, he wants to tout them drugs. He wants to tout them drugs because he wants to prove to America that he has a cure for the COVID right now. He's pushing it so hard.
Okay, now here's that part of the story. So, of course, when he gets to the hospital, they announce that he's taking this cocktail of drugs. And that is, I don't know if we can see this here.
Turn it. Let's see, in order
that's
for...
But the name of it is Regeneron. Regeneron. Regeneron.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly this is a mixture of different drugs, vitamins, steroids, what have you, that they concocted to give people with the corona to help them speed up their recovery.
Right.
Now, apparently they administered these drugs the first couple of days he was at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Sunday comes, and he announced he's feeling so much better. Great.
I'm healed. Don't y'all worry about, don't be fearing COVID because it didn't do anything to me really. I mean,
And of course, that's the little video he made. But then, of course, he took it one step further that next day on Sunday when he not only announced he was feeling much better, but then he decided to take the little tour around the hospital.
That's right.
In the presidential limo.
Well, before he went on this is just from somebody that works in there that I know specifically told me he was walking around the hallways of the hospital. So it's like, you're contagious. Why are you walking around the hospital? Contagious.
I mean, because think about it, people, for those of you, because there's some of you out here that had COVID-19. There's people like myself that at least think they had it. On them days when you wasn't feeling all that great, where do you get the energy to walk around? Now, granted, you as the president of the United States have access to the best health care on the planet Earth, basically. So, of course, you're going to get drugs and things that we don't have privy or are able to get. So, yeah, that might explain part of why you felt so much better. But in the same token, you still have to know that you are contagious, sir.
Right. You are contagious.
Walking around with germs all willy-nilly because, of course, you're the president, so you being the commander-in-chief, they're not going to tell you what to do.
That's it.
Steady spreading it around.
I said, that's it. Amen. And that's what is really just petrifies me because it's like, you don't even care enough. I mean, I just noticed how when he went on that ride, I'm just going to say something very minor. I watched him as he walked down the steps I'm sorry, when he was being released from the hospital. I watched them release him. He comes through the gate. He comes through that bronze door I was telling y'all about. The bronze door. And he comes in there, he gets his little jacket together and he does his little puffed out chest type of thing. And as he's walking, he's taking his hand. Remember, it could be spread with your hands and stuff too. He's taking it and he's tapping the railing as he's going down the rail. And I'm like, you are a contagious person. why are you tapping the rail? If you can walk so good and if you're so healed, you shouldn't even really need to use the rail. But because you are so not you, you know what I'm saying, not you, but he is such a person that cares nothing about nothing or no one. He doesn't even consider the fact that he's only been in the hospital 4 days. And so he is still yet contagious. If he had corona like they say he had it, he's still contagious. So why are you tapping? Why don't he have gloves on while he was leaving the hospital?
Absolutely. Now, another thing, okay, keep in mind, like I said, as he's riding around in the limo, yeah, he has the mask on, but then he's riding around with the Secret Service people and whatnot, and you know it's got to at least be one person sitting next to him. So this whole time, you're exposing them to the virus.
Right.
Now, of course, the story comes out is that, okay, I had certain people that ride with me that already have antibodies because they've already had the virus and whatnot. Again, let me point out that we still don't know for certain that once you contract COVID, you can't get it again.
Right.
Remember, it's a flu-like respiratory illness. So who's to say that you can't contract it a second time?
Right. Right.
Someone who actually has it at the moment.
He's just irresponsible in the greatest ways that you can think about it. It's just total irresponsible. It's total dereliction of duty. What happened? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Are you still there? Resume.
For him to go, and keep in mind, it's very shady how when you're dealing with the president of the United States, who is very much a public figure at that point, so we have a right to know exactly what's wrong with him and to what extent. Those doctors don't give us any real information. They just say he's feeling better, and they approve for him to go home. When we pretty much know, it was like, oh, I'm leaving.
Right.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. I done did some 3-4 days. I done rested up. I done got the people's mind off of what was their mind on before that incident?
Yes. The janky thing that they called a debate.
Yes.
That he
clearly lost. So he want to get people mind off of talking about that onto something else. And so do I think that even as of today, do I think he had COVID? I'm going to tell you like this. If you can remember a couple weeks ago when the president was coming down from not the helicopter, but his plane, and he was having a hard time it was like they had said, oh, he looks like he's kind of stumbling. He looked like he can't hardly get down. And my husband even said something. He was like, that man ain't well. Now, I think he had COVID back then? I think he had COVID back then. That's why this contact tracing, that's why they don't want to tell the truth about the contact tracing, because they are not testing him like they say they are. That's the whole point.
We have learned that no, they're not getting tested every day. He admitted as much last night on Hannity.
Right.
Now, again, that's a Fox News station. And as much as I hate to watch it based on their very slanted bias of what's going on with him, they're the only people that seem to be able to talk to him directly. So it forces me to try to be, equal and fair to listen to see what the heck he has to say.
But he did say. He's
not tested at all this week, and he plans on getting tested sometime today.
Right, but he did say that he hadn't been tested every day. He did say that. So he said that out of his mouth. Huh?
He did that, but keep in mind, like I said, for months they have been reporting that they were getting tested every day.
But that's the point. That's the point I'm making. If you can't choose, if you don't know when you last got tested, I mean, now he could have, if he had COVID, he may not even remember the last time he got tested because he really could have been that sick. But I'm saying that if nobody is able to say is willing to say he got tested on this such and such a day and it was positive, and on this day he got tested and it was or vice versa, negative and then positive, then you can kind of look and see what he got, where he may have contracted it at. But because he's not being truthful and they are not being forthright, nobody really knows when he initially got COVID. You see what I'm saying? We can say it was that super spreader event, or it could have been one of his rallies he was at.
Right, now the super spreader event that she speaks of is the Saturday prior to when they did see face to face, they had an event at the White House. And in that event, nobody was wearing masks. It was in the White House lawn, and you showed several of them hugging each other and shaking hands and kissing on faces and all that, with no mask. So
yes.
Even Dr. Fauci came out today and said, based on what he sees of that was the super spreader event that caused everybody in the White House to be sick.
Right.
But that's only the issue here, because we also have to address what happened in the long haul, because he gets back to the White House Monday, has that grandiose picture op where he stands in the balcony of the White House, rips off the mask, I'm Superman.
You know what? You know what that looked like? Do you know what that looked like? It looked like Hitler when Hitler was doing to the people. That's exactly what he did. That whole alone stage, I'm in. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's a dictatorship type of mentality that he has. And what's sad about it is you're putting all these people in danger. You got Kellyanne Conway. She got to go home to her husband that can't stand him. You know what I'm saying? And a child that's rebellious. And you're taking that stuff home.
Put your wife in danger. Your wife will have to take care of your younger son.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she knew exactly when he got COVID, because she supposedly got it probably. But, I find it very strange that nobody's saying nothing about her and how she's dealing with COVID. Nobody's saying anything. And it's not that it's not that they have to say anything about her, but she is the first lady. And because she's the first lady.
Because it depends on where you get your information from, because of course Fox News, they keep a running tab on her because that's one of their people. Mm-hmm. But as far as the general media outlets, no, it's very little that's been reported on.
Right. I mean, I've heard them say she's doing quite fine. I mean, I don't mean it like that, but you really don't hear, has she had a fever today? Is she going through, what do you call it? Sweating. I mean, you're not hearing nothing other than.
We're still not even hearing what's really going on with him, though.
Right.
Like I said, ever since he came back to the White House, they're not giving you a blow-by-blow per se of exactly how he's feeling, whether he's having fevers, how much of the medicine he's still taking and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And remember, it's Regeneron, the medicine he's taking, it has steroids in it. Mm-hmm. And what some people are starting to say is that, okay, the steroids, the large amount of that antibiotic cocktail contains that. And we know certain side effects from people who take steroids. Mm-hmm. And some of it is the thing they call roid rage, where they have these bouts of super, invincibility, and it causes them to feel a little extra themselves.
And then they go through that crash.
To begin with.
Yeah, then they go through that crash. And once they hit that crash, we like, bam.
We got all these crazy tweets that he's tweeted over the week. Mm-hmm. I got a breakdown of some of those, so bear with me, because Monday, he, of course, declares himself better, and he gets to touting the Regeneron drug, and he's going to get it out here to the public. They're making hundreds of thousands of vials of it so they can send it out to help everybody. It's like a cure. It's a cure for the coronavirus. This is his word.
That's what he says, yeah.
Cure the coronavirus. There is no cure, people. There is no cure, people. I'm not even a doctor or an epidemiologist, but I'm telling you, there is no cure for the coronavirus.
And
there is no COVID. There's no cure for the flu. There's no cure for a cold. There is no cure for these things.
Right.
There are treatments. Right. There are vaccines. There is no cure. There is no thing, and boop, boop, and you're completely better and completely immune. There will be no such thing. Even when the vaccine comes out, it will not 100% guarantee you that you will never get the virus ever. Please understand that.
Right. But the thing when you're talking about Trump and his and people that believe in him, it's very difficult.
Do you call him
president? Mr. Leader, or the leader, or Rump.
You have a name for his father. What do you call them?
Lord Jesus, you caught me off guard, dude. You caught me off guard. No, Trumponians. So the Trumponians that really love him and follow him, no matter whether if he told them to jump off of a bridge, I believe they'll jump and not even have a something in the water to even catch him. They just that gullible. It's really, I hate to say it, but I struggle with this because I am a Christian and I do believe in my Christian faith and I wish him well. I do not want him dead or anything like that. But at the same token, I kind of just on that fleshly side of me, it's like he get what he deserve. He get what he deserve. And you can't keep playing with the things. You can't keep playing with people's lives and not expect not to get burned. Now, as a Christian, I don't want to say, well, I really just wished he died. No, that's not what I would ever wish on anybody. But I do wish he would be able to learn a lesson from this. But when you can see that he come out and he's still telling people, oh, it's no big deal. Oh, it's no big deal. Oh, go ahead. I want to hurry up and get to a rally, knowing you only been out the hospital, 4 days, 3 days? How insensitive and how uncaring and what's it going to take these people to understand he is not someone that you need to really follow. He does not care he doesn't care about his own wife.
Further example that he doesn't care is the tweet sent out later that evening when he announced to us that, okay, I'm going to have them stop with the negotiations for the coronavirus package, and there's going to be no coronavirus package to after the election. I'm just completely cutting negotiations. Y'all can stop talking to the Democrats. We're done. Just
and then was it yesterday or today? Yesterday, I think it was.
No, the very next day.
No, I'm saying.
Says, oh, well, here's the deal.
Okay.
I still want to send out $1,200 stimulus check. Where are you, Nancy? I'm ready to sign right now.
Yeah. And I want to make it better than all of you all. I'm going to make it even better. It's going to be bigger.
No. Cuz you jumping the gun. Hold on.
Oh.
We got to break this all down.
Okay.
Because then, hours later, he tweets, okay, I also want to do something for the airlines. So, yeah, let's sign off on that. Let's sign all these little bills. And not worry about the big stuff.
Yeah, I'm not as versed on every little move like that. I'm sorry.
Like I said, I've been keeping up with this all week. We getting to where you going. Okay. That was 2-3 days still on this.
Okay.
And keep in mind, these tweets coming rapid fire.
They are. They are. If you ain't a person that can stay in front of the TV,
they have trouble resting.
Yeah.
They have insomnia. And he's used to tweeting during the day as it is, but now he's tweeting in the middle of the night, and we wake up to all these crazy tweets.
Yeah.
That he done thought of over the course of hours or so while we sleep.
Well,
so then he goes back to that.
What about the disrespect?
Now,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I had a question in that though.
This is when they come with, okay, we're going to announce that the next debate we're going to do virtual. Because we understand that the president is sick, but he still wants to debate. So we're going to do it this way. Everybody's safe. And the first thing he comes out with Thursday morning, like, oh,
no.
I'm not doing no debate.
I'm not getting the attention if you do it that way. I'm not getting the attention I deserve.
Exactly. Plus, when I get to talking and
they can mute me.
To mute me. And I can't say what I want to say. So, no, I don't agree to this at all.
Mr. President, you got to only have 2 minutes. He's afraid of that.
Right, because, see, remember, that's part of it. And the other part is it goes against the strategy that he and the debate prep people on the Republican side had, which is to keep saying crazy, outlandish stuff, keep digging and poking the bear with Biden to throw him off his game because they know he's a stutterer. And then he'll lose his train of thought because he's older, and that makes him look incompetent.
Right.
And that takes away that strategy if they do it that way.
Right. And it's really sad because it's like you should be able to debate. You should be able to debate because if you think about even the Hillary Clinton debates that he never had substance in anything he said. It was always just an attack and a sharp something at somebody this way and that way. He never really had, and so America has not made America has never made him actually debate real issues because when they put him on the the camera goes on him for a real issue, the first thing he does is point it back at somebody else because he doesn't know the issues. He has no idea what's really, if they don't have a speechwriter writing for him, he has no idea what's really going on. None.
And see, it's not even that, because that's when he's best, but when he goes off the rails and speaks on his own behalf, that's when it gets all crazy, because he don't know the facts on some of the facts. He goes with those 3 or 4 talking points, and he'll stretch them out as much as he can for that 30 minutes, hour, whatever the amount of time he's discussing.
And he usually can't. And he usually can't. Right. He likes to be heard.
Right.
And
he took him away from his comfort zone and put him in the virtual. That's what's throwing him off.
Right. And he's not going to do it because he doesn't want to be challenged. Huh?
Right. Go back to the crazy timeline later on that day. He's saying, "Oh, I'm feeling better. Why don't we just put that debate off till next week, and that way we can do it in person again, the way I want to." But then part of the problem is that, no, I don't want to do this town hall debate. I want to do it the way we did the first one. Because remember, in the town hall style debate, the
people ask him questions. Yeah.
You have to get through them. And arguing with Joe is one thing, but when you're arguing with people about what's going on, that shows even less that you care about them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he wouldn't know how to react to a person.
Unknown caller.
He wouldn't know how to react to someone really talking to him like that, because the first thing he's going to do is look at those people as though they're reporters and say, "That's a very nasty question. Why would you ask something like that?"
We go back a couple weeks ago, because when he did a town hall with NBC, and the people were asking questions. Remember, there were people who were African Americans who were undecided voters, and they asked these questions straight up. He wasn't able to go off on them, because think about the optics of how that would look.
Right.
See, just like you said, you don't like black people. See how you went off on her? See how you went off on him? He had to deal with it real different that night, and he was very uncomfortable. You guys can look it up too. President Town Hall, NBC News, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Right. But I mean, he's not really equipped. He's not really mentally equipped to handle too much.
Right.
And I get,
his thoughts are racing even more so than they usually do.
Yeah.
So then we come to today, and that's when he really gets tweeting crazy, because now he's saying about the stimulus package. Okay, check this out. I want to do one that's bigger than the Democrats and the Republicans. I want to do a real big one. What's up, Nancy? When can we hook it up? Because he's understanding. He's losing. He's going to the bottom of the stick. Okay, I got to do something that's going to work.
And look,
I got to get something to get them on that.
And look, in the meantime, Nancy's going to her buddies and stuff, talking about, we need to really look at his mental status. So I'm sure he's really a little bit thrown, because now they looking going, now that's something I wanted to ask you while you on here about that. What do you feel about Nancy talking about that? Do you think she ought, now let me ask my question first. Do you think she ought to leave it alone right now and go ahead and we go through the election? Or do you think she ought to push the button? Because this is what I think on pushing the button. I think if they pushed it, I think more Republicans would maybe look at her and say, okay, maybe we go ahead and get him pushed aside. You know what I'm saying? Say he's not competent. And then it leaves it to Pence. Now more Republicans that used to be that went to Joe's side because they didn't like Trump or the leader, then they may turn around and go back to Pence on Pence's side just because. So I'm kind of scary about her pushing the envelope right now.
Well, see, here's the thing, cousin. I don't think she's actually going to make that move. It's a power play. We're dealing with power play. All these tweets and whatnot are power plays. Most of this stuff, like he said that tweet Monday, he wasn't going to keep it like that. Think about it. You're already losing. You're going to start telling people who are out of work and in need of this money that you're not going to get them no money, and they got to suffer for another month, maybe 2. You definitely going to lose some votes doing that.
Right.
So, of course, never meant to leave it that way. He just put that filler out there to see how it would play out. And then you also got to remember, while we're here saying every time he tweets and stuff like, what the hell is he doing? And they go on CNN and like, he's crazy.
And everybody talk about it.
Behind the scenes, the Republicans are like, hey man, what you doing? We trying to get reelected. You messing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Fix it. You can't do it like that. So then all of a sudden, it makes it seem like I thought about it. Yeah, let's do it this way instead.
Because I'm the one that loves you. I'm the one that really cares. Right. I'm going to do what's best for you. Huh? I'm your people's president. I'm not just a president. Oh, we're going to go ahead and help those Democratic states, the ones that you said wasn't going to get no extra money at all. So he.
And that, of course, leads us into our next topic because along some of these tweets, he also tweeted about the incident. And the incident I speak of is what happened with our governor here in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to plot to kidnap a governor of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was there was a couple local people, and they were displeased with how our governor chose to shut down the state and her executive order in regards to that. In the case of the one main person, he lost his job, lost his wife. He had a bad state of affairs. Mm-hmm. And he blamed it all on her. And because of that, he sought out people who felt the same way. And at first, these were just discussions. But these discussions started to lead to a plot and a plan to get rid of her. So what happens is they formulate a group. One of them comes from this group called the Wolverine Watch. Now, from what we're being told today, he was kicked out of that group because what he thought was even more erratic than what they were thinking.
Right.
But in turn led him to formulate his own coalition of people. And right now we know that many of them were based here, but there are a couple based in other states across the country.
Mm-hmm. And
what they're find out is this thing might go even deeper than we all realize. That she may not have been the only main target.
Right.
We already have learned that she was a target, and some of the other government officials in Michigan were targets as well. There was even a plan to, just like when earlier this year, they came up to the Capitol with MR-15s and whatnot and interrupted the state Congress in session. They planned on running up in the state office and taking it over by force.
Well, see, this is why your words matter. This is exactly why your words matter as a leader. This is a prime example because he has dogged that governor out, just like he has Cuomo, just like he has the California governor and the Washington State governor. You know, and he has taken them and basically talked about them and wrung their necks and have spit venom to those white supremacy type of people to basically fix it.
He specifically points her out as that woman from Michigan because we know over the past 4 years that he has a particular crawl for women in power that go against him.
Right.
He does not like that call.
Right. And that's the way he does. That's the California one. He doesn't like her.
That part of the reason why I feel this has happened is because the president is now outright telling these militias and white supremacist groups that this is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, appear to approve this message. So, of course, last night he goes on Hannity, the Fox News station, and says something to the effect that, no, I don't approve that. I'm against all supreme violence or what have you. But in the same token, she's blaming me for what's her fault. If you opened up your state fully, you wouldn't have people plotting on you.
Right.
That's basically what he said.
Right. Now, that is what he said.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is what he said. And it's really, and it is. But
again, Governor Whitmer is doing things that's keeping us safe. And granted, despite that, we're still having an outbreak of COVID here, but it's not nearly as bad as some of these other states that are Republican states, the Floridas and the Texases of the world, that's having 3 and 4 cases and hundreds of people die every day.
Right.
Because
Or you put you've opened schools back up. Like my grandkids, I got 7 grandkids, but 5 of the 7 are in school. In full-time school. I got 1 in high school, 1 in middle school. No, I had 2 in middle school and then the 2 elementary. But all of their schools have come up with COVID within the first couple of weeks of them being in school. It's ridiculous because the problem, it goes back to not caring for your people, not caring about what's going on with your people. Now, Governor Whitmore, her name's Whitmore, right? Your governor. What's her name?
Whitmer. Whitmer.
Whitmer, yeah. You know, she is she's a people's governor. You see what I'm saying? She is saying, okay, this isn't the best thing for especially with all the stuff that's gone on in Michigan anyway. You had Flint, Michigan a few years back. You know what I'm saying? Stuff going on there with their water. You already know that it is a city, it is a state that already deals with backlash from the government already, you know, in previous situations. So Governor Whitmer already understands that. But she's like, okay, do I want to put these people's lives in danger, or do I want to yes, my pastor's asking me, are you live now?
Yeah, we're live.
Yes, we're live, Pastor. I don't know if he can see me now, but
kidnapping plot right now, Tom. Catch you up.
Oh, are you talking to somebody or me?
No, I'm talking to Tom through us.
Oh, okay.
I see his comments.
Oh, okay.
I'm just addressing it.
I am too. Somebody just asked me something too. But anyway, so my thing was she's doing the best she can with what she has. That's like putting you between a rock and a hard place. If I put the people back to work, we're going to lose people. People are going to die. People are going to pass this on to other people. It's going to be a detriment to our state if I put them back to work. But on the other hand, if I keep them home, they're not making money. So she is in a tough spot. There is going to be people that do not agree with her because of that. But the reality is she's trying to keep as many people safe as she possibly can. But it's already been known that most states that have chosen to go ahead and reopen without those rules and those things set in place have the most. Look at the states red right now. Red from COVID. Look at how many of them have turned, you know, they got back in somewhat of they came, curve went down a little bit. They're spiking all back up because Governor Whitmer decided, I want to do like Comey. I wanted to make sure that we get this flatlined, and then we can open up, because this will, if we go and we have to shut it down again, it's going to be a bigger problem. Let them suffer now. Y'all put the stimulus in.
To do that, because now, as we see things starting to kick up, she's still forced to at least try to open certain things to give people opportunity to try to make money, because one, he's not passing the necessary legislation to help these people, these companies, and these cities and states out, so that you kind of left with no choice. You darned if you do, you darned if you don't.
Right. Amen. And the thing about it is we have to we have to back our people when they are trying to do the right thing. But what we are talking about is when somebody spews off, that when they're basically saying, I don't like this woman, this no good woman. I mean, calling women monsters, calling them crazy, calling them, you are sending whistles. You're blowing the whistle to those people saying, I don't care about them. Get rid of them. And that's essentially what these people are doing. And it's so sad. And he's even like how he did Kamala Harris the other night, talking about what a monster she was and how,
and a series of crazy tweets he didn't put out the last few days.
Yeah.
He had several urgent tweets about her to say.
Right. And then you got these people that are such a stark supporter of him will go out and say, you know what, my president doesn't like this, so we're going to go and get a group together and let's get rid of him. And then you're like the person that throws a rock and then hides the hand after you've thrown the rock. Like, oh, it ain't, I certainly, because I heard I did listen to Fox earlier today. Somebody said, well, he didn't tell him to do it, but no, you didn't tell him to do it. But when you spew out that kind of devilish anger, those people that do not know the Lord, that do not have a mindset of Christ, that do not care about the love of the neighbors and stuff like that, it's easy for them to go throw off and act like that's okay, because in my mind, he told me to do it. You know what I'm saying? And we have to, I just don't understand. It's very difficult for me to understand how people can think that this kind of behavior is okay. I'm against, I'm going to go here and we're not on that subject, but it's like saying I'm against abortions, but I don't mind the killing over here. A life is a life. you know. So if you so much, and then, that's what I want to, real quick, because I know it's, but I know, but one of the cocktails that they gave President Trump, they found out, I don't know if you saw it on the news, but the cocktail that they gave Mr. Trump, or President Trump, I'm going to go with
vanity, cuz.
I know I am, but I mean, you know, and that's probably part of my military background. It's just, that's what it is. I don't have to like him, but anyway, but one of the things is it's made up of the fetus, the stuff from the fetus after an abortion.
Yeah.
So if you so against abortion, why are you okay with them giving you this drug?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
You know, that hypocrisy that goes along with it, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Right.
Now we all know that if,
the one thing is for sure, I almost said his name. See what you got me doing? If the leader actually was a friend of yours and you needed somebody to have your back, that's the type of fool you would want to have your back, because he going to do it by any means necessary. He going to lie, cheat, steal, what have you, to make sure y'all straight.
Amen.
That may be a good quality for some of you when you think of a friend, but that's definitely not a good quality for somebody who's leading this country.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right. My pastor from Texas just came on, and he said he put in a. Are you seeing the comments?
You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Okay. Pastor Tom, hello. How's it going? He says, stand down and stand by was a call to action. COVID can be handled, but we have no national policy and zero leadership. Havoc is the new normal coming from the top down. This is why there's so much more dissension across the United States. Absolutely.
Right.
He's absolutely right.
Exactly. And we and even in the Christian churches, there is a division now, because now you got, remember what my word was,
yes.
the New Age Pharisees, the Trumponians are the New Age Pharisees. That's exactly how I feel about it. You cannot say that you love God and are called according to his purpose and doing his will, and yet you have all this hatred behind you. You cannot. It doesn't flow from the same grace of God. It doesn't flow from the lips of the Lord if you can say that you don't love your brother, and we don't care if these people are being treated equally because I like this man that much. But this man obviously is not living and walking according to the word of God, but yet you, as a Christian, and we talk about Christian at this point, but as a Christian, you're saying, I'm all for him. How can that be? How can that be? You know, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I got off on a tangent.
Good. Like I said, you're absolutely right, because, you know, it's so much contradiction and hypocrisy in this whole scenario when it comes to him. It's like, I need you to actually sit down, count to 10, think about what you're saying, and then say it. I think any good leader should be doing that.
Right.
Because at this point, you have to remember, your decisions are not your decisions. Your decisions affect everyone around you. And in this case, it affects everyone in this country. Like you said earlier, your words matter.
Right.
Governor Wood said that yesterday. Your words matter. Mm-hmm. What you don't say, in some cases, also matters.
It sure does. Because silence gives consent. Silence gives consent. Right. If you don't stand up and say nothing.
In the end, she's not the only person interpreting your words that way. It's not just her being crazy. Many other people have come out and said that. And if people in political party were being honest, they would say those same things, because I'm sure behind the scenes, that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just that they don't choose to go on public record as going against what you're saying.
Right.
Because of it.
And then you got people, and the following is really ridiculous, because you have Lindsey Graham that just came out earlier today and said he is not going to take a COVID test. He is not going to even take one. He said there's no need for him to take one. Right now he's on up and up with losing was it South Carolina, South Carolina? Losing that seat.
Extra factor that's playing into this also. It's not just the president's job that's up for grabs right now.
Right. And their leadership.
35 Senate seats are up also.
Right.
And most of them are people who are Republican that's on shaky ground right now.
Mm-hmm. And they're scared. And that's why you're not hearing it. Remember, like about a year ago, before we started getting into the election part of this, you would hear stuff from Lindsey Graham all the time. He would come out, well, the president really didn't say this and he didn't mean it that way. And he would speak up. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed in the last 8, 9, 10 months, they just kind of all backed up in a corner and you don't hear from none of them, because they're sitting up there. And what really, we really, like Pastor Bright said, there is zero. They don't have any national policies and zero leadership. But the national policies need to be, we need to change these people in and get some new people in, because what is happening is these people have gotten so much power. They're getting old. They don't want to stay. They want to stay in that position forever. And because the money's coming in, the money's looking good, but they don't want to really work for the people. They don't want to really do nothing for the people. They sit back and they bicker the whole time, and that's both sides of the aisle. They need to get rid of some of these people that's been nothing against Joe Biden. I do like Joe Biden, but some of these people, and I see what he's doing. We all know what Joe's doing. Joe's getting ready to he wants to win the presidency and basically go off the scene. That's why this is why I think Nancy Pelosi's wants to put in what she putting in, because she's saying for future. So if Joe gets sick or tells her, look, I don't really want to run the country no more, then they got something in policy that automatically says Kamala can come on in and be the president. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I was asking about that, because in some ways you don't want to shake the ground, but at the same time, I could see why she wants to do it that way. So there won't be no argument of talking about, let's do a re-election. No, we're going to make it where the policy stands that when we feel like that somebody's mental status isn't good enough to be president anymore, they can step out the circle and that vice president comes in and we ain't got to have no elections. We're going to just make them the president and they choose their vice president at that point.
Well, like I said, that opens up a whole different can of worms, and I really don't think we have the time to work on that out the way that we want.
We don't. Go ahead to your next subject. I just was throwing that out there because I wanted to see, because that was news of the day, sort of. So I was kind of like, okay, I want to know how Eric feel about that.
Okay, now, like I said, our time is jumping here, so we need to kind of jump to this right quick.
Go ahead.
Before we go here, I want to send, again, a shout-out to a brother by the name of David Ford. Me and Cuz both was made aware of him last night on another podcast we listened to called Drinking Tea. Shout out to you, Big Meech and crew. This is their podcast, and they introduced us to David Ford. Why I was asking about that. And the name of his company is David Ford Collections. Mm-hmm. I'll let you a little bit about it.
You want me to say something about it? I didn't hear that. Yes, I really loved the podcast last night with Meech and them, because what I saw was you got this entrepreneur, young black brother. This brother, outstanding young black brother. He is able to take some glasses like you wearing right now and actually do Bluetooth through them. And what's amazing, it's not so much Bluetooth, because Bluetooth can be, a lot of people do Bluetooth stuff. But what was amazing is I didn't get the whole story, so you probably was on there before I was. Did you come on after I did?
Yeah. But I came on before you.
Okay,
let me break it down. What it is he explained that he started the business because, one, he wanted to make a product for people of our ilk, our color, what have you, that he could be proud of, relate to. It was kind of like how, earlier in life when FUBU came out, For Us, By Us, it was kind of his vision of that.
Right.
Where, okay, you as African-American can get quality eyewear and other things because, he has purses, he has clothing.
Yeah.
But, it's quality So when you go on the website, and again, the website is www.dfceyewear.com. I discussed it on the pre-show. Shout out to you, David, if you're checking out the show. We definitely plan on having you on one of our shows sometime soon, so you can break this down, because you explained it far more better than we're doing right now.
Yes.
But, basically making eyewear that's designed for people who are African Americans, because, we have the wider noses and the way our faces fit the ears and what you. His glasses are designed to fit our faces more distinctly without causing all those irritations that we get from the nose bridge and the ears and what have you. But he also has eyewear that is workable. So like my cousin explained, he has a pair of glasses. Imagine, if you will, a pair of glasses with built-in Bluetooth. So that basically you push the buttons on the glasses and you speak to people like me and you were speaking now through your glasses. And it takes an hour to charge the glasses, and you got 8 hours of talk time. Mm-hmm. So, as opposed to having to hook up on your Bluetooth or whatnot, you just click your glasses. You can go walking, whatnot. You don't have all that extra bulky stuff in your ear or whatnot. It's a great product. And like I said, the price point is similar to if you're paying for some high-quality Gucci wear or buffs or what have you. Mm-hmm. But in the same token, he's letting you know through the website, and as he talks to you about why is that quality amount, why you have to invest the $300 or $400. You're getting the bang for your buck.
I got you, Pastor.
This is not cheap putting together.
Right.
And what it is he's in the process of bringing his whole entire operation to America, because some of his stuff is outsourced right now, but he's trying to build a factory here in America, hire people of color to work there. He eventually wants to get to a point to where the line breaks off to a little lesser line for people that don't quite have the price point to get the quality stuff, but in the same token, still want to have some good things to wear and good eyewear and what have you. So yeah, he's really good himself at explaining the process. And one thing is, as he was having the interview, he's going from one pair to another pair to another pair. Yeah. You see all the different pairs, and it's great.
And I was like, wait a minute, did he change glasses again? It was nice. And the thing about it, what amazed me was he started his vision out. He got a vision for it when he was a kid. Uh-huh. Remember? And then he not only it's not about just making the glasses, but it's about the process. He went to, was it Japan or China? Where he go to? He went Japan. He went all the way to Japan as a young man to try to learn the system of building your own business and going through the factories and learning how to do all of this, because it was a vision that God gave him. And that's what was amazing is the fortitude this young man had, the drive that he had, and the diligence that it took, and so that was all in itself. There's a comment on there that you may want to read again. Read it. I don't know.
Okay. Again, that appears to be from Pastor Tom, and we see you, cousin Gloria. Hey,
yeah, Gloria.
Going on, fam?
Amen.
Okay, it's time to update and reevaluate our constitutional framework, but it addresses today's challenges. It actually needs to be built in an amendment that automatically brings outdated law up and gets them off the books. Yes, because if you know your Constitution, you realize that our forefathers saw that even in those times that it would eventually become a point where some of the laws that they made them now would need to be amended and whatnot. Right. That's why they made the ability for people to change parts of the Constitution as time went on to reflect what's going on in those actual times.
Right. And this is why voting is so important right now, because y'all know that voting is on, the Voting Rights Act is on the ballot. It's not on the ballot. It's on Mitch McConnell's desk because, was it 1965? What year was it? 1865? You can help me on the dates. I'm not good with dates. But whenever
last time they dealt with the Voting Rights Act, they want to make amendments to it. That's what Cousin's talking about.
Yeah, and I can't remember the dates and stuff, but they want to make amendments to it because it could make, if they don't get these amendments passed, it could mean us not being able to vote again. So because we don't know exactly what they are tampering with. So we need to know what they're tampering with. And so that's why it's important.
At least make it to where it'll be way harder to do so.
Yeah, exactly. And we already having it hard enough, That's why they didn't like Mike Bloomberg going down to Florida, paying off people's, their restitution so that they could vote.
Yeah, him and LeBron James.
Yeah, him and LeBron James. LeBron James, I think, was doing it in Cleveland. I mean, I don't know.
And here's something I'm interested in seeing, because keep in mind, Game 5's coming up for you sports fans. If they win this tonight, then of course that means they win the championship. And I'm sure that if that happens, they're going to at some point address LeBron James. And keep in mind, the whole reason why they even stayed playing in the bubble was so they can address what's going on in the country and the social unrest and whatnot.
Right.
So I'm interested to see what type of pre-prepared statement to make in regards to everything. See, that's probably the last time he's going to be able to address the world audience in regards to these things.
Right. Exactly. Because he's getting older now, So, but anyway,
leader of the NBA movement in regards to what they think consciously.
Right.
He's kind of their elected person in charge of, this is what we think.
Right. Yeah, he's a leader. On the field and off the field. So yeah. So go on. You can go on to your next topic. I'm sorry.
I get too sidetracked. I said, we got about another 20 minutes, so let's try to get it in.
Okay.
The next topic, like I said, I don't even want to mess around. Let's get to one of the main things I want to talk about. I want to talk about your sock drive. Now, please break it down to the people what's going on with your sock drive. Okay.
Thank you, cousin, for that. Okay, so I recently won Writer of the Year for Christian writing from this. I got nominated through a corporation called Come On In Corporation. And Come On In is basically, it was given to the CEO, which is a friend of mine named John Williams, and he's on this magazine. He's not the owner of the magazine From Pain to Purpose, but he's the owner of Come On In Corporation. He started it. God gave him that vision. And so he's out of Colorado. And so his corporation has gotten to the point where they needed ambassadors to other states. So he's had ambassadors to, I think, about 9-10 states right now. And so he asked me, he said, I'd like you to be an ambassador to the state of Maryland. And I was like, what you talking about, Willis? So anyway, he explained it and everything. And I said, well, let me pray about it. And so I asked him, what does it include? And he said, well, you have to have different drives, different things for the homeless, for the needy, things like that. And he knows that's up my alley. That's what I like to do. That's who I am. And so, so I said, sure. I said, I called, I talked to him a few weeks later, said okay. And so he said, well, you're going to have a drive this year in something, whatever you want to do, some type of something to draw money and draw, to be able to do something for the homeless or whatever organization you choose. It don't just have to be homeless, but whatever organization you choose. He said, it's whatever you choose, whatever God lays on your heart. So I was thinking about it and I was like, I let a couple of weeks go by and it just dropped in my spirit, socks. I thought about it because I actually had what really happened is I had put my foot in some water. And I had to walk around in that water, in that wet foot for a while, where we were. And I'm like, man, I do not like the feeling of my feet wet. Then I thought about my Army days and how cold, when your feet is cold, how uncomfortable your whole body is. It just throws your whole body off. And I said, you know what? I want to do a sock drive. So I called him. He said, that's cool and everything. So we got flyers, did all that. But the sock drive is we're going to try to collect. My cousin here said 10,000 pairs of socks. Okay, that's his vision on 10,000 pairs of socks. Huh? What'd you say?
Yep, I said it.
Yep, he sure did. Because I was asking, what does my people that were on that day, I said, what do y'all think my goal should be? Because this is my first time doing this being in charge of this kind of thing. I've been a part of things, but being in charge of it. And he said, no, cousin, go for the limits. Let's go high. Let's do 10,000. I was like, okay. I said, that's a lot for me. But really what I've learned is, you need to ask people. It ain't all about you trying to do it yourself. It is about asking people to come in and help and stuff. And so, so I got on my Facebook Live while I'm walking. And so for the drive is for us to give that many socks to the homeless shelters and to the homeless people that are around in the area. We always have homeless people no matter what city you live in. It doesn't matter what city you live in. There's people that's in need, and they may not be homeless. Maybe they got 5 or 6 kids, and so we're doing a sock drive. The sock drive is men's socks, women's socks, children's socks, baby socks. It doesn't matter, but we're trying to get the amount of money or the amount of socks to get 10,000 pair of socks. Now, we have till December the 18th. I need everything either in my hand or through Facebook or however, Cash App, however you want to do it. I need it to come to me so I can go out and buy it. Okay. And I'll pay. I have Zelle, and my cousin's putting it up there. I have Cash App. My Cash App name is just my name, Marla Facey. And my Zelle is my phone number, which he's got it on here, and also PayPal's my phone number and my name. So everything, any kind of thing that, but it'd be nice to just inbox me and say, hey, I want to send, whatever you're going to send or whatever you're going to do, and let me know that, so we can get on how you're going to send it, whether you're going to send it. I take cashier's checks. I take Western Union. However you want to send it to me, I'll make sure that I will do what I promise I'm going to do, because, I don't want you to think that I'm going to take the money and do anything else with it. Thank you, niece. I appreciate it. God bless you. I'd want to make sure that we get these socks out to the homeless and to the shelters, because it gets cold in a lot of your states. I know out there where cousin's at. He's in Michigan. It get cold. Do you hear me? Cold. It gets cold out here in Maryland. It gets cold in Missouri. Okay, y'all. So I need all my family, Virginia, family and friends. Please get involved. Please ask your co-workers, ask family and everything. This is a real drive. It is a sock drive. It is real. There's nothing fake about it. We're going to get it and so what I was telling people is, okay, so I'm doing something for the state of Maryland right now, because that's where I'm at right now. But if you find out, hey, I want to do something in Michigan, let me know. We can still come together and do this, because I don't have no, it's nothing just on me. If you want to do something, we will help you do it for your area as well, because it's all about helping people, and we are responsible. We are our brothers and sisters keepers. Okay. So that's all I pretty much have on the sock drive, but that's important that we,
here, cuz I want to say, I know right now in this time of COVID, and we just talked about how a lot of people are not working right now. I'm employed myself right now, and times is tough. So it's hard to kind of contribute like that. But keep in mind, the thing about Cash App, you can send $1.
Yes.
You can send $5.
Every little bit helps.
Said, don't require a lot. Like I said, it's the thought that counts, true enough. But in the end, send what you can. I know it's a big ask for people that's struggling right now, but send what you can. And then remember, the deadline is December 18th. So hopefully they'll work out this stimulus thing by then. So if we get the extra 1,200, whatever it may be, take 5 or 10 out of that and do something for someone else. Pass that blessing forward to others. Yes. So, when all said and done, you can look at, okay, well, I did this and this with the money, but I also did some good for others at the same time.
And God will bless you. God will bless you just the same, because what you do for others, He turns around and makes it up to you in other ways. So don't be afraid to give. And if you tell me, hey, I wish to give this amount, but I can't really give it, but I want to do this, then we'll talk. Don't be afraid to call me and talk to me, because I'll do what I can do to help as well, because I'm not going to just ask you to give and I'm not giving, because I'm definitely going to be giving.
Right. And I have, and I will.
And He's already,
like I said, you don't have to just donate the money. If you got socks, keep in mind, we want clean socks, people. Yes. Perfectly brand new socks. And you know how some of y'all go to the Family Dollar, see if they got a couple pair of socks. We'll figure out a way to get it to me, and I can get it to her, however we work it out, if it's people on my end, and vice versa.
Right.
We'll find a way to where it needs to go. And like I said, in the end, we're trying to do the little things that we can do. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, I did work to get these people more than just socks or something down the line, but right now work with socks.
Yes.
So let's see what we get done. Like I said, I would like to get at least a few hundred from this side of the world to help out your cause, cuz I'm gonna be putting it out here. We're gonna put it on our on our networks and whatnot, cuz she got her various projects she's working on, and I got the ones I'm working on. Yes. We're going to mention them in all our projects, and we're also going to put it out there to some of our podcast partners, because, we're starting to develop a kinship with some of these podcast people, so we're going to ask them to put it out there. Well. We would appreciate that, because, we all trying to help each other here.
That's it. And that's what community does. I don't care. I mean, we're in COVID. We are staying home, but there's no reason why we can't help other people while we're out, even while we're home. There's things that we can be doing. And God's going to hold us accountable for sitting and not doing anything. So we know we need to get busy and do something. Find something that you can do. I'm not saying you got to donate a whole lot. I'm not going to, you donate what God gives you to donate if that's what you choose, but do something positive for someone else.
Absolutely. So yeah, we got that going. Okay. Let's see. We got one more subject, and we're going to call it a night, people. We want to address a concern that we and cousin both have in regards to people's health, because we know because of the pandemic, people are dealing with things a little differently, and one of those things they're dealing with differently is things in regards to their health. In other words, attending your regular doctor's appointments. Right now, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so of course they're encouraging you to go get mammograms, and you may be kind of concerned about that because of the COVID. These are things, however, that we still need to take care of, because in the end, yes, COVID will be the third largest thing that kills people in America this year. But the two things before that will be cancer and heart disease.
Yes.
And those things will go unchecked if you don't.
And diabetes.
Yes, and let's not forget diabetes. That's definitely in the top 5. These are things that we need to address. So we need to go to our regular doctor's appointment. And perhaps now it's time to set all these things up before the winter comes, because if your concern is that COVID is going to get worse before it gets better, this will be the best time to get all these things contended with.
Yes. Yeah, because I even think, just on me, my own personal self, I've been canceled. Well, first they started canceling appointments for me. Now, when it first, they were like, we closed up, we ain't doing nothing. And then it's like, oh, they'll call me and be like, oh, you want to come in for an appointment? I'm like, no, they still got COVID going. So I understand. And it is right. Cause my husband tell me all the time, why don't you go ahead and go to the doctor? And I'm like, oh, I'll be better. I'm just going to stay right here. But I know that that's not the best thing. I mean, we do have to be, smarter in that situation. But if you wear your mask, stay your distance, do what we're being told to do by the CDC, and do and what the regulations are, we should be okay. But ain't nothing 100. So that's the whole thing. I always say there's nothing 100. And so if I ain't got COVID inside my house, I'm trying to stay in it as long as I can until they get a handle on this. So all I can say is don't neglect your body. If you can't do some of the things that you like to do, make sure you go walking, go ride a bike, go get some type of exercise, get outside sometimes. Like I try now for at least about the last 3 months, where I'm walking at least every day, probably about every other day. I try to really get out there and walk, because it's just being able to breathe in some good air, because we don't know what tomorrow brings, definitely. And I'm not saying that to scare anybody, but people are dying. And so we have to take care of ourselves as best that we can. And so don't be afraid to go out there. In my neighborhood, I just pass people. Hey, how you doing? God bless you, whatever. But I don't do a lot of, I haven't had nobody come to my house. None of that. I got a couple of friends that be calling and be like, hey, can we come over and hang out a little while? Some friends around here that I have known. And I'm kind of like, COVID, honey. We don't invite folks in. So, that's probably not, Eric, I probably didn't even go the route you wanted me to go. Please, you go ahead.
No. I'll pull us back in the car. That's all right. Because also, another thing I want to is people's mental health. Because a lot of you guys, as I see your posts, as I talk to some of you personally, I understand that you're not always okay with how everything is going.
Right.
I know I've had my moment during the pandemic, particularly when people that I cared about started passing away, where it became difficult to contend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I have several different outlets that I go to kind of help myself feel better. You know, I go ahead and I write down my daily notes and whatnot. I do my little research. Of course, I'm doing my podcast that I find therapeutic. It helped me to find some peace of mind and get to know some of my family a little better, right, cuz?
Right.
And then, of course, you definitely would approve of this message.
What's it say? I can't see.
That says Holy Bible.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You stuck it up. I couldn't hardly see. You know, I'm half blind. I'm wearing glasses, but I'm still half blind.
You need some Dave Ford to get you together.
Yes.
But, like I said, there's things like that, but sometimes you just need somebody to talk to.
Right.
And like I said, there are outlets now that you can look up online. So while you going through your Google search and hitting the gram and all that, look up Google search, you know, mental health or whatnot. There are people that are able to help you. They don't even have to come to your house. You don't have to go to them. Y'all can do it by Zoom. Y'all can do it over the internet. There's several ways to contend with that. And I don't want you to feel like, okay, I don't know what to do. And so you start to kick up your alcohol usage or your marijuana, what have you, and suddenly now you spending all type of money that you didn't have to spend in the first place.
Right. Hey.
Those things temporarily find you some peace of mind, but ultimately all you're doing is masking the real hurt. And when push comes to shove and the end of the bottle or the last puff is near, where's your mindset at that point? Have you really resolved anything, or do you still feel some type of way?
Right.
So I encourage you that need that extra help to seek it out.
Right.
And like I said, I'm here, Cousins here. If you don't want to talk to nobody professionally, like I said, talk to me. And if I can't help you out, I at least will try to help you find someone who can.
Amen.
And I'm sure my cousin.
Well, I just recently got my doctorate degree for Christian counseling anyway. And so that's how I got the doctor. I'm the doctor now. So if there is any issues and stuff, I actually will be doing, that's what my next thing is going to be, is setting up Zoom and setting up internet where I can actually have face-to-face, whether by phone or whatever, face-to-face counseling. And so that's why, and one thing, even with Monumental Moments in God's Word, when I'm teaching God's Word, and I'm getting ready to have a Bible study as well, because if you start getting fed the Word of God, that takes place of a lot of that empty things that go on in our lives. And I'm not pushing just religion, but what I'm saying is we got to have outlets. There's things that are happening. People are, like you said, people are losing people. There's situations that are going on. We need to be able to communicate, be able to call somebody or whatever. So don't be afraid to, even if you need to call me. I'm not, number one, I'm a doctor at this point. Everything's going to be on the up and up. It's not going to be, oh, I'm calling you and telling you about her problem. None of that. But I would rather talk to you, pray for you, and talk it out than I would for you to do any damage to your body or hurt anyone else or anything. And sometimes we can be so. I had a friend of mine's son say on Facebook the other day, and I actually picked up the phone and called him because he said, I'm almost in my darkest point that I was a few years ago. And I thought, oh, Lord God, let me call him, because he almost tried to commit suicide. And so sometimes you don't know what a person is going through. You don't. And so you have to be willing. You have to be willing to open up and say, you know what, I'm not okay. And it's okay not to be okay. So many times we have, and especially in our black culture, we have made it seem so bad to go and get counseling. Just somebody to talk to. It doesn't mean I can solve all the problems. It doesn't mean a counselor can solve all the problems, but just talking through them, being able to tell somebody else, you know what, I'm just not okay. I'm not.
Absolutely.
You know, and we need to stop with that stigma, because that's why I lost my father to suicide when I was 10. You know, because it was it was already a situation already, but it was such a bad situation that people couldn't talk about it. People couldn't reach out, you know, and stuff like that. And because of that, you know, I have always wanted to help the people because I know what kind of how it destroyed my life in a lot of ways. I thank God that I've went through the things I've went through to help me where I am now, but it was a hard time going through it when I didn't have to. If we'd had the proper services, people not looking at somebody else, oh, they kind of crazy. We can't talk. If people got problems, we got to help them. We got to help them. So
absolutely.
So
like I said, in the end, I always, when I go to the good book here, I don't remember the exact verse. I'll take that to you, Dr. Facey, but my verse is, I can do anything through Christ that strengthens me.
That's it. That's it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. And you can. And you can.
And find that healing, then I know it's rough right now, but I'll find a way because God's not going to give you more than you can handle.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And, it's just, it's really wonderful how God brought us together. I'm thankful for that because y'all have, and here's the other one, Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for our good to them that love God and are called according to his purpose. And we are called according to his purpose. Y'all got to understand we're called according to his purpose. And his purpose is for us to do his will. And so when we're doing his will, he's pleased. So we want to please the Lord and we want to please each other. But I don't want to please you over the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's really a good thing, and I'm glad that you all stayed with us tonight. Is that your last topic, or did you have something else?
Yeah, we're about to wrap it up. Like I said, I know some of y'all will check the rebroadcast, and by all means, for those of you who want to leave comments, go ahead and me or my cousin will get back to you in regards to some of that, and maybe address it on another show. Or keep in mind, like I said, we're gonna take this time to announce all the things that we're working on, so you guys know where else you can find us at. So, cuz, you go ahead.
Okay, so I'm on. We're going to be on. I'm doing a podcast as we're speaking. So we're on Spreaker.com. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple iPod. Is it Apple iPod? I think it is. Apple Pod. It's so much out there. We're on Podcast Chasers. We're on podcast, Castbox. We're on Pod Addicts. So
we're on Anchor.
We're on Deezer. On Deezer podcast.
That's this particular show.
Yes.
We also have our other show we do as well.
Yes, and then so on Thursday nights I have Monumental Moments in God's Word, and then y'all know that, like I said, I got my books that are on Amazon.com, so you can look up my name, Marla Facey, on Amazon. You can order any 3 of the books that are on there. You can do it by ebook or regular hardback, and one of them is on voice. That one's I don't like the voice one really, even though it's some people may like it. But I'm probably going to upload it a little differently so we can have the voice different.
Audio book?
Yeah, the audio book. It's horrible. But I didn't do that. It's not my voice.
Okay.
So anyway, I didn't like it. I just didn't like that one. But anyway, so I'm probably going to re-upload that when I have some time to really try to do it myself. But God is opening up doors, and he's opening up ways for us to get the word out, get what we got going on out. So I thank you all for listening on tonight.
Yeah, and like I said, hold on, cuz let me plug me too right quick.
Go ahead.
Like I said, I got a show that I'm doing with my cousin, What the Bucks. Also, I have my show, Get Off My Lawn, and there's 2 versions of it. Get Off My Lawn, the audio podcast, which I do once a week, and you'll be able to find that on most of those outlets that we discussed. And also, I have the Get Off My Lawn live show that I'm doing, where sometimes I'll do the show myself. Sometimes I'm going to have guests to discuss things. Shout out to you, David Ford. Definitely want to have you on the show. Shout out Will Muhammad. I'm going to be on his show Sunday, by the way. I'll be putting that on my Get Off My Lawn info page so you can check it out. I want to have him on my show as well sometime next couple of weeks. And we have our podcast partners as well. We'll be posting some of that on the info page so you can find them. And we'll try to have some of them on the show.
Yes.
So we got to get off on the audio version, and we have to get off my lawn live video version. And you'll be able to find that on many of those outlets and YouTube channel as well.
Amen.
We'll put all that info page for you guys to follow us.
Amen. Please like and share and continue on and do what God has called you to do. That's it.
Absolutely. So until next time, it's me and the fam. We signing off.
Take
I
care.
hope you enjoy. Like I said, for y'all about to check out the gang, you see the hoop right there. Let's go. Let's get it in.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week. God bless you.
All right. God bless. We out.
Pastor Bright. Oh, Angela. That's who that was. I was like, who is that? Nisi, Gloria. Okay. All right. That's good.
Cousin Eric Buckner.
Oh. Hello? Hello?
Hey, cuz.
All right.
All right. Good show. Good show.
Thank you. It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah. Like I said, we got to work out the little technical stuff, but beyond that, it went pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And the thing, I forgot, Lord Jesus, I forgot to close off the, hold on a minute. I forgot.